Hey guys, I'm running way behind, but I'm super excited about this live stream that I really wanted to do. And I guess it's not really excitement, but there's been something brewing in the air. So as you're joining me, as Facebook's notifying, just say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're there. My glasses keep going crooked. It's driving me insane. Let me know that you're there. Say what's up, Shameca. If you're watching on the live stream, say what's up. Let me know you're there. I want to share this topic of why overachievers or high achievers can't sell themselves. And it's been really frustrating over the last couple of days. Actually, for the past week, I've been having connection calls with each and every person who's inside of my private Facebook community, because in this high-tech, low-touch society, what's happening is we're losing touch with each other. We're not connecting with each other enough. And so what I decided to do is put out a call that anybody who's in my community, I want to talk to everyone. And so that's what we're doing. And so again, I wanted to do this live stream because I think it's super, super important to take a look at the undercurrent to why things are happening. Most high achievers, most overachievers, we're really good at most of the things that we do. And so what I want to talk about today is what happens when you go into starting a business for yourself and you find yourself in this space of not even necessarily struggle, but just really not being able to find clients that you want at the level that you want, at the price point that you want. Like maybe you want to sell at a premium and it's not really happening and you're not really sure what to do about it. I can't stand to see so many ridiculously talented women struggling because they're overwhelmed with information overload and not trusting themselves and really just handing their power over to other people who tell them do it this way and do it that way. And then they get so confused, they're not really sure how to really showcase their zone of genius and really stand in that to say, you know what, I am the person for the job that can help you. Doesn't matter that I'm not the most known person or the most branded person, all of those things, but I know that I can support you. They're afraid to stand in that because they're handing their power over to somebody else to tell them when they're ready. And it's the main reason why when I do a lot of the training and the videos that I do, the emails that I send out, when I'm talking, I'm not doing a lot of how-to, the tactics type stuff. 80% of what I do, the videos and the messages, are meant to light a fire inside of you, to wake you up to what you really want or what you don't want, inspire you to get into action, and encourage you to give yourself permission to be who you really be and to go after what you truly desire, not what other people say you have to like or need or want to desire, or what you should desire, what you really want, not based on somebody else's definition of success. And so today I really wanted to talk about this because this week it's really been heavy on my heart. And I've wanted to cry, I've wanted to scream, I've wanted to cuss a little bit, just in frustration, because I see so many brilliant women struggling with this. Okay. So instead I do what I always do. I go to God and I go within. And the result of that is this live stream and the next few live videos that I'm going to be doing over the next month. And any free training that I do moving forward is going to be a freaking call to arms. It's a call for you to rise up. It's a call for you to stand in your genius, to stand in your power and stop diminishing it and crouching down for the comfort of other people. And so I don't know how it's going to come out today, right? It's going to come out. And so tune in and be paying attention to it, because I'm just going to be peeling the layers off of some of the things we don't talk about. And we try to throw money at the problem and buy courses and programs. And maybe if I find the right coach, it's all going to work out. And really the problem that we have is with ourselves. It's with ourselves. Here's what I see and what I've experienced myself coming into running your own business, specifically consulting, coaching, any type of expert business where the product is actually you. Right? It's your smarts, it's your brilliance, it's your genius, it's the results that you get, right? putting all of that into creating results for your clients, quite frankly, what you're selling is your badassness. And this is where it becomes a problem. So what happens is when you begin to run your own business, it can be shocking to find that even if you've been a high achiever or an overachiever in every freaking thing you've ever done, like you've always been the best at it, you get into this space and you choke. Like it literally chips away at your confidence. It siphons your self-esteem. You're like, I know I'm good at what I do, but why isn't this working the way that I expect it to, right? It should just poof, voila, work. And what you find is that in the business world, you're a massive underachiever when it comes to building your business. And that does not feel good. And I'm telling you this from my own experience and from what I see as I'm working with my clients. This is why I shifted my business from just talking about sales strategies and what to do to that undercurrent of what you believe about who you are, who you be, and the difference you can make for other people. Right? Because those belief systems really affect everything. It definitely affects how you show up in your business. It definitely affects how you show up in sales situations. And don't get me wrong, guys, literally don't get me wrong. Yes, there are many high achievers and overachievers that start businesses and they do very well for themselves, right? But this is particularly prevalent in the expert business space when it comes to selling you. When it comes to selling yourself, especially for women. When it comes to selling you, things become very, very different. So I want you to lean in and listen. Grab a pen and a notepad, not necessarily to take notes on the step-by-step how-to, but I want you to really feel into what shows up for you as I'm sharing this. Make a note of, oh shoot, this is how that shows up in my life, in my business. And here's what I think I want to look at that and figure out how I want to shift it. The other thing is I'm going to take questions at the end. So even though I'll be looking at comments probably from time to time, actually, I won't even look. I just want to dive into this stuff. And I'll go back through at the end and look and see. So if questions start to come up and you want me to answer them, then go ahead and type them in the comment section. Share this out if it's speaking to you and you know there's other people that need to hear it. Also, if something's speaking to you, you can comment, you can do reactions, hearts, all of that stuff, whatever floats your boat. So let's kind of lean into this, and I want to go through this, not spend a lot of time on it, but this is like the starting point of this call to arms that I'm going for over the next month. Okay. This week, it's been really ticking me off because I've been talking to so many people, to see so many brilliant freaking women with PhDs, women who have sold millions of dollars of other people's stuff that can't sell themselves. Or if they do, they're underquoting, undercharging, under-earning for the massive transformation that they bring to the table, for the type of results that they create. So many ridiculously talented entrepreneurs, they're coaches, consultants, experts. They're in this place where, you know, they've got clients, but it feels like they're still hard to come by. And they're not really putting the price tag on the transformation and the results that they create, that they know that they should be or could be. And I don't like to say should or could, but you know it's worth more. But there's all these stories in your head about why you can't right now. And so today I'm going to share with you some of the whys behind why that is, but more importantly, what the heck are you going to do about it? Right? Because even though it's the truth right now, it doesn't have to be your truth for always, right? Even if it's been your truth up until this point, it can end like that. And here's why I'm sharing this, because I'm living proof. I'm living proof. So me, and there's so many other women that I know that were stuck in the same place that have been able to completely turn it around. And if they can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to tell you again, lean in and listen. Okay. So based on my own experiences, based on my clients' experience and the people who reach out to me in the marketplace, here's the deal. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from, because I'm definitely not somebody who thought I would struggle as much as I did when I first shifted into an online consulting and coaching business model. I didn't think I was going to struggle at all. I'd always won numerous awards for sales. And in fact, I'd won top sales awards at every company I've ever worked for. I had profitable businesses before. I was someone who was very used to putting in work, pushing hard, doing everything I could to achieve the results that I wanted. My belief was, as long as you're smart and you're willing to do the work, you're going to get the results. And so when I started this type of business model, where again, you're selling the invisible, what you're really selling is your ability to take somebody from point A to point B. So when I started in this online space, that wasn't the experience for me. I didn't just succeed like I had before. I was working my behind off. I was putting in the hours, putting in the time, putting in the work, but I wasn't seeing the results quickly. And then when I did start to see results, they were not consistent. They weren't consistent at all. You know, there were months where I would do really, really well and then struggle to close sales and make money, you know, in other months. And some of you might be experiencing that, where you got, you know, a $12,000 month and then, you know, a $12,000 month and then a $2,000, or even a $10,000 or $30,000 month, you know, and then nothing. And then 5,000, 12,000. It's just not consistent, right? And that in itself was extremely frustrating. And probably like you, just like me, I invested a small fortune in coaching programs, workshops, courses, masterminds. I tried it all, and I wasn't getting the results that I was seeking. And it was unnerving, really. It was very frustrating. Actually, frustrating doesn't even begin to freaking describe it. I was feeling so disappointed in myself, mostly. And I really didn't know what to do. And so I don't know if you're in that space, you know, for yourself right now, but I really just want to talk about what are some of the things that might be showing up. Again, being somebody who is used to a high level of success and not experiencing it, that sucks. And over time, it erodes your confidence. Over time, you start whispering in the marketplace, right? I'm a doer. I'm an achiever. And for people like us, when we try again and fail and try again and fail, oftentimes what happens is our confidence and our self-esteem really takes a hit. And that is what was going on for me. And so today, as I share with you what I've observed with other women who find themselves in that position, and for myself, as I brought myself through this journey, I want to share with you what these things are that I see that no one's talking about. That's prevalent for somebody who's used to being a high achiever, used to success, used to putting their hands to stuff, and this business thing isn't working as quickly or as fast as you thought it would, or you're second guessing yourself and you're like, I'm not quite sure if I can just come out the boat, right? And right off the bat, charge somebody 10 grand. Or whatever. There's all these thoughts going on in your mind. So the first thing that I want to start with is wanting to be liked. Wanting to be liked. Here's the thing with high achievers, and I'm just going to be quite honest with you guys with this. Most high achievers, you've experienced some time in your life, and that time could be now, where people just didn't like you. There's no apparent reason. You can be the lover of all lovers, but somehow you're always rubbed the wrong way, right? Rubbing people the wrong way. And it could be because people are like, well, you always win everything. Maybe you've heard that before, right? You think you're better than someone else. Well, of course you would be the top of all of those things. And so that past trauma gets anchored in you. And then you start behaving and doing things because you want to make sure that you're liking people. And I just had a conversation with a client. We literally just hung up before I jumped on this call. And she was like, I have this list of people that I'm supposed to call, but I haven't reached out to them. And I was like, okay, well, what are you afraid of? And I was like, oh my gosh, you're a textbook person for the live stream I'm about to do. So she says, here's what I'm afraid of. There are people that I'm connected to. I'm pretty sure they just want to like be my friend or whatever. And I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, but now that I'm older, I have tons of friends. Everybody likes me. And I don't want to lose that. And so I feel like if I reach out to them and I say, hey, I can help you with that, they're going to be like, oh, she just wants to sell me her stuff. Right? And so this need to be liked causes us to do a couple of things. In her instance, this need to be liked caused her to not reach out to people she knows good and doggone well she can help. Like, she's looking at their stuff and she's like, oh my gosh, I can help you. They're in her world. They jump on her live streams. They watch her. They comment on her stuff, but she's so afraid to pick up the phone and say, you know what? Let's look at how I can support you, because she wants to be liked. You know, we don't want to raise our prices to a certain point. We want to be liked. So I'm encouraging you to look at your desire to be liked. Like, the outside of you might be saying, you know what? I don't really give a flip when nobody thinks about me. But deep down inside, you want to be liked, right? And again, for most high achievers, that trauma stems from maybe having some stages where people didn't like you just simply because of who you be, just because things look like they came easy to you. Here's the thing that I always know. I know because I am a high achiever. Even though it looks easy, we work, right? And while everybody else is like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing, you still don't feel like you're measuring up, right? And so where is your need to be liked showing up in your business where it's impeding your ability to sell? Where it's impeding your ability to sell. I'm not going to beat that one. I'm going to come back around to some of these and actually do live streams on just those. Here's the second one: downplaying your greatness. Downplaying your greatness. Listen, even though I had expertise, even though I knew what I was doing, I struggled. I've been in sales 20 plus years and I struggled. I struggled. And often we don't realize that those same types of traumas that we have can hold us back, literally. So like, another kind of trauma, not just the trauma of people telling you think you're better than somebody else, or you always win, and like really wanting to have friends and really deep down wanting to be liked. Another type of trauma that you could be experiencing that you're dealing with, that's an undercurrent to your ability to sell, could also be having a client that didn't get a result. Having a client that didn't get a result. One client out of all the clients that you've had in all this time, and I'm probably going to bring this up again, that didn't get a result, causes you to hold back. Here's the thing that was happening with me. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to deliver, right? So it caused me to do things like believe I wasn't good enough, believe I wasn't ready enough. It was one client. One client out of all the clients, massive amounts of clients, but that trauma you hold on to, and it begins to rewrite the story for you. And then it begins to show up in how you behave, right? A little bit quiet because maybe I'm not the best. So I'll tell these people, it shows up in the types of clients that you choose for yourself. Let me choose clients on this level, even though you know you can get the most biggest, baddest, best results with the clients that are at this level, the higher level, right? You choose the clients down here because it makes you feel safe. It also shows up as you shrinking back, right? Intellectually, you know you can command a higher price point, but when it comes down to it, you play small and you start offering lower stuff, or maybe you do one or two high-end sales, and then you continue offering the lower stuff because it makes you feel comfortable and safe. Safe, because you're not being pompous. You're not like, oh, I'm the one that can help everybody, and you don't have to deal with that trauma, right? That experience of, and your experience can be something different. I just want you to lean in and listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be that somebody didn't deliver a result. It could be somebody asked for a refund for whatever reason. Somebody telling you no one time on a sales conversation, you're like, oh, maybe I wasn't as good. I'm not as good as I thought. There's something wrong with me. You know, or you see them go off and buy from somebody else. It just wasn't a fit. And this typically will happen because you're not confident that you can deliver at the higher level. Anchored to and is coming from some experience of somebody not getting a result in the past, right? Again, it doesn't matter how many clients, all of a sudden you feel like you're not good enough to serve people at a higher level. And here's what I want you to know. That's a bunch of BS. That's what I want you to know. Yes, Audrey, depression, all of those kinds of things set in. And this is coming from me, somebody who believed the exact same thing. And I watch my absolutely brilliant clients who have all the highest certifications, years of experience, PhDs, who've excelled to very high levels in the corporate world. I've watched them. They believed they weren't good enough to serve clients that they are here to serve. They're your divine assignments. Because some client way back then when didn't get a result. And so here's the deal. I have to call you guys on that. You really got to look at how you're showing up in the marketplace. And here's what you have to realize. If you're not working with the right clients, guess what? They're not going to get results. When you choose to lower the level of clients that you're supposed to be working with because it's easy and it's safe, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Right? You lower your rates, you do $500 programs, and people give you $500 worth of commitment, which means they move on to the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing, and they don't fully operate and walk your process all the way through. They don't get a result, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then you start to anchor in that thought of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Maybe my stuff's not good. Maybe I can't help people get this result. I want to call you to play a bigger game. When you look at somebody's business on a higher level or somebody's life or whatever they're doing, and you're like, okay, I can take them and transform it, but I'm not ready. Shift that, rise to the occasion and go for it. Shift to this space of course, I know my stuff. And there are people out there who can easily benefit from working with me. Number 3, your receiving muscle is way off. It's way off. It's actually a scarcity mindset and lack consciousness. Stick with me. Stick with me. I'm not saying you got poor people's mentality. I mean, I kind of am, but it's deeply embedded and deeply ingrained. And let me show you what that looks like. When you're looking at charging $5,000 to $25,000, let's just go there for your services. Often that can bring up your own sense of worthiness or guilt or shame around money. And how it shows up is you don't often feel that you deserve to get paid so well for something that comes so easy and so naturally for you because it doesn't feel right. Like, why should I get paid for this? It's so easy for me. Not at that level. And it's not because it's necessarily wrong, but it's because of your association with the concept of hard work equals success. Remember, you're an overachiever. You're a high achiever. It's like taking candy from a baby. You're brilliant. And so lots of things come easy for you. And so you might have a hard time wrapping your mind around the fact that someone is going to be willing to pay you top dollar for what it is that you're helping them to accomplish, achieve, or do. And what you have to realize is that your clients struggle. Your clients, they're struggling, they're in pain. And if you're someone who has expertise that comes easily and naturally to you, then that's exactly what you should be charging the most money for. But you've got to get your mind wrapped around that, and you've got to let go of any guilt, any shame around asking for, and actually, let's say this about asking for what you actually want and receiving it. There's no guilt or shame. Remember, I'm telling you this from personal experience and the repetition of seeing it in client after client after client. Here's the hard truth. If you're not making the exact amount of money that you want to make, the only reason for that, other than some shifts that you may need to make in your sales processes and your marketing, right, which is all the sales process, and shifting your mindset, the only reason for that is your willingness to allow it to come in. I'm going to say that again. If you're not making the exact amount of money that you desire to make, The absolute only reason for that is your willingness to allow it to come in. That's it. Your willingness to allow it to come in. And I know you might be doing mindset work right now. You might be thinking about money every single day. You might be showing up all the time, live streaming every day, and still not getting the result. And you're saying to yourself, but I do want it. I do want $10,000 clients. I do want $5,000 clients. I do want to have a $20,000 a month. Heck, I want to do a $100,000 a month. Shameca, I heard you talking about that and I want it bad. It's not that I don't want it, right? You're like, no, she's not telling, like some of you guys are probably like, I'm ready to click off right now. She's telling me I don't want it. I want it. Here's the deal. You can want it, but if you don't feel comfortable receiving it for whatever reason, you're going to block it and you're not going to allow that money to come in. I did it for a long time after I lost my business. And I was like, I'm working really hard to build it back up. And I know I could do this and I know I could do this. And the reality was on the inside. I was like, no, please don't pay me. I was like, I want clients. I want clients. No, I really don't want clients. On the inside, subconsciously, because I felt like a fraud. If you don't believe that you can receive $15,000 or $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 or whatever the number is for your offer, here's what you're going to do. You're going to continually look for the evidence that supports the fact that you can't receive it, that you can't have it, that it's not available to you. I'm going to say that again. You will continually look for the evidence that supports the fact that you can't have it, instead of dealing with the real issue, which is this. It's you allowing yourself to receive at a higher level. Typically, the people that I work with have been so used to putting themselves last on the list and just believing that they're not worthy enough for whatever reason, right? We were just talking about that too earlier today. You know, we're so worried about the comfort of other people, making other people feel uncomfortable. We're all in people's bank accounts. You know, maybe they can't afford this, all kinds of stuff. We're so used to putting ourselves last that they get into their head that nobody's going to pay them those amounts of money. You know, like I said, the whole things that people can't afford it, all of those things. And I want you to think about this. When you think that way, what happens is you go, okay, people can't afford it, so I'll keep selling these low-end offers, right? Even though it's not exciting for me, even though it's not enough to allow me to pay my bills and have a life. What you really want to start looking at right now is, are you making that type of decision in your business? Are you deciding for other people because you want to make sure they're comfortable and you're not choosing yourself first? You're not choosing, like, in order for me to serve you at this level and give you this much of my time or this much energy to help you create that result and not be resentful about it, this is the amount that needs to be invested. So I want you to really start looking at how much can you receive. And I tell my clients this all the time. I promise you, for any industry that you guys are in, whatever you're charging to do, and you're telling me no one will pay you more than that, or no one will invest more for this thing, I can find another business with a similar model selling a similar thing that's charging $100,000 for it. Always. It's never not happened. So the only way that you're going to be able to charge higher price points is if you're dealing with the real issue. And the real issue is this: how can you begin to allow yourself to receive at the higher level? Because it's not them, it's you. Money has not left the planet. The cash is always here for you, but can you let it in? Or do you have beliefs that are blocking you from allowing the cash to come in? There's a lot of people who have money, who have the cash, but if you believe, or you don't believe, that there are people who have it that are willing to pay you, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to continually find evidence to support it. I'm going to share this with you guys. This is really cool, super cool. I went into Facebook just so I could see, and I did a Facebook ads targeting, and there were over 100 million people who make 6 figures or more per year. Over 100 million people who make six figures or more per year. And so are you going to still continually try to convince me and yourself that there are not people out there who are willing to invest with you at the rate that you desire, at the rate that's going to create the highest amount, the highest probability of the deepest transformation for the people that you work with? 100 million who make over six figures. Listen, believing people don't have money really comes down to your inability to receive at a higher level. That hang up about money, again, is not them, it's you. And my question to you tonight is, are you willing to let it go? When you do shift the things that we've talked about today, right? I've given you a couple of things. It's all about how we've experienced ourselves in life, right? Especially as high achievers. When you do that, you become a group of phenomenal women that I see who aren't limping along, struggling, trying to work hard every day simply because they believe all the BS that we're talking about. They believe what's available to them. And so here's the shift. Start to experience yourself differently. You know, there are things that you've experienced in the past. Let that stuff go. I guarantee you that there are clients already circling around you who absolutely need you. They absolutely need what you have to offer. But if you believe some of the stuff that we've talked about today, if you believe that you're not ready, if you're not good enough to play with higher level clients, right? If you don't believe that people have money, you will actually reject, resist, and repel all of those clients who are circling around you. Remember what I said, 100 million people who make over six figures a year. And so one of the things that you can do is take confidence in and be able to close people at higher end sales with total integrity, is knowing that if through a sales conversation, you can help somebody move past the beliefs that have kept them stuck, that have kept them from getting results, even when they've invested in programs before. If you can move people through that space, you're actually serving them just in that in itself. So much fear around, you know, making an offer on a sales conversation, like in all these conversations I've been having all week. So much fear in, you know, posting something and having an offer attached to the back of it, not because of guidelines on the social media sites, but because of how people may perceive you. Again, it goes back to that need to be liked. And so I just wanted to start to peel the layers off today. That's all I want to touch on today. I'm going to come back and do some other live streams, really getting you to start looking at how this is showing up for you. But I hope that today, as you start to begin to look at how you're showing up in your business, that it gives you some confidence to wake up today. Stop downplaying who you be. Stop believing all the stuff that I've talked about with you today. Wake up and begin selling, because there's people who need you. Like, you are their divine assignment. All right, I'm going to go through and look and see if there's questions. Just Audrey not asking for what I want and actually receiving it. Yeah. All right, guys. So here's the deal. You know, if this is you, if you're a high achiever, what happens to you in this space if you're not experiencing the success that you desire, because you're so used to accolades, you're so used to being number one, over time, your confidence actually gets diminished. So on the outside, you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm still as confident as I could be. But on the inside, you begin to behave and do some of the things I talked about. You lower your rates, you won't charge more, right? You start to believe that you can't really help people. And so you're afraid to reach out to somebody who's at a higher level, because what if, you know, I can't really deliver? Then they're going to talk about me. There's all these stories that are going on in your head. And all I want to say today is stop it. I just want to say, stop it. Stop, rise up, take your rightful place, and begin to be of service to the people that you're meant to serve. Like I said, wake up and sell. Wake up and sell. All right. So I want to thank you guys for coming. If you have any questions that come up later, even as you're watching this on the replay or spending some time with this yourself, just put them in the comments below. I'll definitely come back around. And again, if this video, if you feel like anybody that you know will benefit from it, just share it out, please. If you want to be able to charge and close sales at higher price points, and I'm not talking about just slapping a higher price tag on it or bumping up your price, because it's so much more than that. But I'm talking about being able to receive compensation for the work that you do at the level of $10,000 to $50,000 or whatever number you're looking at that you're not at right now, that you know your transformation and your results are definitely there. Let's have a conversation about it. I mean, it's time out for looking around at other people and saying, well, why can she have it, but I can't have it? You know, or even judging them and going, well, my stuff's better than her, or I know my stuff, or I've been in this longer. The difference is she's not afraid to allow herself to receive. That's honestly the difference. And if you can begin to shift that, begin to shift how you're showing up in that way when it comes to the money conversation, when it comes to these conversations you're having about how other people are going to perceive you when you show up in this way, everything will change. I'm going to put a link somewhere around this video, either in the comment section or up above. I'll give it to you right now, bit.ly/talk with Shameca, bit.ly/talk with Shameca. We're going to continue this conversation because I really feel like it's so needed. You know, everybody's talking about strategy, you know, everybody's talking about high ticket offers, and you're like, great, show me how to put my package together. And even when you go through the course and you put the package together and it's nicely branded and has an amazing, beautiful name, when it comes time to sell it, something happens on the inside of you and you shrink back. That needs to stop. That's what I'm here for. All right, loves, I'm going to go and I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good weekend. Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment, like right now. I'm not going to stop talking until you leave a comment. Seriously, leave a comment.